bottle of pills sat on a table at Harvard Medical School. The label read, plainly and without apology, placebo pills, contains no active medication. The patients picked them up anyway. They took them home. They swallowed them twice a day. And then something happened that nobody, not even the scientists running the experiment, fully expected. The year was 2010, and Dr. Ted Kapchuk was working with 80 people who suffered from irritable bowel syndrome. IBS is not a minor inconvenience. It is a condition that reshapes lives. Unpredictable pain, chronic discomfort, the kind of suffering that quietly erodes a person's sense of normalcy. These patients had tried things before, real things, and they were still hurting. Kapchuk split them into two groups. One group received no treatment. The other received the honest placebo pills made of microcrystalline cellulose, essentially compressed powder. He didn't hide this. He explained it. He even described the placebo effect to them directly, framing it as a potential mind-body healing process. There was no deception, no illusion, just a ritual, a bottle, and a twice-daily instruction. 3 weeks later, 35% of the untreated group reported meaningful relief. That number sounds modest. Then you look at the placebo group. 59% reported significant improvement, nearly double. These were people who knew, with complete certainty, that their pills contained nothing pharmacologically active. Their bodies healed anyway. The experiment didn't just produce surprising data, it demolished the foundational assumption that the placebo effect requires belief in a lie. For decades, scientists had treated the placebo effect as a trick of perception, a psychological sleight of hand that only worked in the dark. The moment you turned on the lights, the magic vanished. That was the consensus. Kapchuk's results suggested something far stranger, that the ritual itself carried power. The act of taking a pill, following a schedule, engaging with the process of being cared for, these things were doing something real inside the human body. Skeptics pushed back immediately. They just felt better. The argument went. Subjective reports, they said. People trying to please researchers. It was a reasonable objection. But then came the brain scans. PET imaging studies revealed that patients taking placebos for pain showed measurable activation in the brain's prefrontal cortex, the same region that lights up with actual analgesic medication. The brain wasn't imagining relief. It was manufacturing it, releasing its own natural painkillers in response to the ritual of treatment. This is where the science becomes genuinely difficult to dismiss. The brain, it turns out, doesn't just respond to chemistry. It responds to context, to expectation, to the symbolic weight of being treated. A white coat, a careful explanation, a twice-daily routine. These are not decorations around medicine. In some measurable biochemical sense, they are medicine. The packaging was never just packaging. Here is the part that stops you cold. Researchers following up on this work found that the open-label placebo effect didn't weaken when patients were reminded the pills were fake. It held. Some studies showed it even strengthened with continued use. The brain, once engaged in a healing ritual, seemed reluctant to stop. The body had learned something, and it kept applying that lesson, even after the mind had been told there was nothing to learn from. This matters right now. In an era when chronic conditions are rising, healthcare systems are strained, and millions of people are searching for relief that conventional medicine hasn't fully delivered. The honest placebo doesn't replace treatment, but it reveals something profound about human beings, that we carry within us a capacity for self-regulation that we have barely begun to understand, let alone use. The most powerful pharmacy in the world may be the one already inside you. Subscribe to factstormhub. We tell stories like this every day. Full article on factstormhub.com.